For some reason, I just never see record, so I can't tell that you're recording.
I already started recording.
Okay, so hopefully you didn't hear that. But if you did, welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. My name is Sunny Fridge. I am Sergeant in Arms for Competitive Communicators. It's a pleasure to welcome you to our meeting online. The lovely face of our president, who, by the way, is celebrating a birthday today, Tricia Grow. I'd like to share with you a little bit of Zoom room etiquette. If you look at your screen at the bottom left of your screen, you will see a microphone. You can mute and unmute that icon to talk. And if you are not talking, we ask that you keep it on mute. And you do that and you will see the red stripe. Next is the start and stop video button. We always love to see your faces. However, if you need to take a phone call, if you need to take a bathroom break or eat or drink, we ask that you stop your video. Otherwise, please stay on. There is a participants button in case you want to figure out who is online and who is there that you may want to send a note to. So you just click on the participants and it will show who is there in the room. Finally, we have our chat button. Our chat button is our line of communication since we cannot talk while our speakers are talking. So feel free to drop a word of encouragement and feedback into the room. You may talk to everyone by clicking the down arrow and sending a message, or you may also talk privately to someone and only you and that person will see that message. You also can save your chat if you see something of interest that you'd like to look at later. And you can do that by clicking on that next to the file button. There is a save chat icon. Our policy: by participating in our meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube channel, Facebook, our website, and other public media that hasn't even been invented. Again, welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. At this time, I'd like to introduce the birthday girl, Tricia Grow, our president. This is how we clap since we can't clap half the time. We either wave our hands or do this. Welcome, Tricia. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. We're all celebrating this month. I'm celebrating a birthday. I'm also celebrating National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'll be going around and asking you to introduce yourself and share something you might be celebrating this month or sometime soon. Let me begin with our dear friend, William Thomas. William, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself and share something you're looking forward to this month?
Thank you, Madam President. Fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, my name is William Thomas. I am from Hollywood, Florida. I am the co-sponsor and co-founder of this club. I also serve as the Assistant Vice President of Membership. And one thing I am celebrating this month, actually today, is one of my friends' birthday also. He turns 26 today. And after the meeting, we're going to go out and celebrate his birthday, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Mike Thorne.
Welcome. Mike Thorne from Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm about to celebrate going to the last of my division clubs. I have 4 area directors, 2 of which have died on the vine. So I'm looking for new area directors. Until they materialize, I have 10 clubs for which I'm responsible. And I'll be going to see the last of them this week. The significance of that is the closest one is over an hour and a half away. So I and my car be only too happy to finish that up. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Mayhan.
Hi, everyone. This is Mayhan from Maryland. One thing I'm looking forward to this month is that I'm planning to have my mom to visit me. And she's going to come maybe within 20 days. So I have a lot of things to prepare before she comes. she comes and she'll stay with me for a while. So I'm looking forward to that. Back to you, Ms. President, Madam.
Thank you very much. Sunny.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Sunny Fridge. I've been a Toastmaster since October. I just realized that I am celebrating this month 4 years being a Toastmaster. Wow, that is so cool. I think I joined October 15th. So yes, I'm doing that. And as I mentioned, I love celebrating, and I am so glad that yesterday I'm president of a club, a brick and mortar club in Mississippi, and I competed in the Table Topics contest, and I was surprised to win because we have a couple of great speakers that I was competing against, 3 of them actually. So I will celebrate it. I'm so glad to have one more opportunity, because right after I did my speech, I realized what I really wanted to say. And so, you know, there's 3 types of speeches: the one you practice, the one you give, and the one you wish you gave. So I'm getting better and better. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Isabel.
Madam President, I'm Isabel from Ellicott City, Maryland. Let me think of something. Well, I've been trying to persuade my daughter to practice public speaking, and I've seen some changes on her, and she seems to have become more proactive in learning and showed more interest in public speaking. I think that's something worthwhile to celebrate. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Cannon?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I wish you a happy birthday. We are celebrating the 9th day of the 9-day festival. This is for celebrating the women empowerment. I think I told you about this last week. This is called Navratri, and today is the last day, and the women fought over the evil, and everybody prayed. Today is the last day. So we will complete today, and there will be a lot of dolls that will be depicted. And thank you once again. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Chris Mitchell.
Unmuted now. All right, good evening. My name is Chris Mitchell. I'm from Webb City, Missouri, which is just a hair north of Joplin. I am celebrating 2 things. One, this is National Home Business Week. And since I work from home, I'll be posting pictures of my very organized office on my Twitter feed. I am Chris Mitchell. And I am also celebrating that tonight, when my wife came home, that the trash can was in our driveway. I tried to move it. Very bad idea. I took a very bad fall, took the brunt of the fall on my leg on our driveway. For those that do not know, I do not walk. I use a rollator. And I'm celebrating the fact I'm not in urgent care having my leg set because I broke it. Back to you, Madam President.
Yeah, I think I speak for all the rest of our club that we're very grateful that you are not in urgent care as well. Hariom. I can't hear you. I saw you unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Hariom from New Jersey. So just a few days back, I celebrated my brother's birthday. Today, I'm celebrating what Kanan just mentioned, 9-day festival. And 20 days from now, we have Diwali, which is like Christmas for us, which we'll be celebrating. And of course, living in New York, you cannot miss fall colors. So that is what I'm going to celebrate as well. Back to you, Tricia.
Thank you very much. Mike Zhong.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Zhong, currently in China. I think I'm the newest member of this club.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, something I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to getting to know this club and serving some roles in the meetings. I just got the role as a general evaluator. I'm very excited about it. I'm also looking forward to getting to know some of you and hopefully get a mentor for me. in the future. Oh, by the way, in China, we just finished the 7-day holiday for our National Day celebration. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Dora.
Hi everyone, I'm Dora. I'm from Guangzhou, China, and we are our club. Actually, I'm my club. My home club is Guangzhou Toastmaster Club, and we are now busy preparing for our 20th anniversary, which is in next month. And we are busy inviting guests and putting up the agenda, and I'm the VPPR, so we are also working on making some nice posters to attract guests and members to attend our anniversary. Thank you. Back to you, Tricia, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Kim?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Yes, my name is Kim Mitchell. And no, I did not approve him moving the garbage can. So I just thought I'd let you guys know that. He said, oh, let me move that. And then he tried to roll it with the rollers. And so he pulled it up, and that's when he fell. So did I
didn't
approve
tell me
it?
not
No,
to.
but it was either, that's true. I should have said no, but I didn't. What I'm going to like to celebrate this month is the fact that I no longer have a birthday, so I'm staying 29 for the rest of my life.
Yes, you do.
And so that's what I'm celebrating this month. No, we're saying happy 25th. That's the day. Okay, so the happy 25th day, not birthday. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Rolando.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rolando Goldman. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida. I'm looking to celebrate this week is diversity. Wish us a diverse group. Enjoy coming here and spend time with you guys. So I'm going to be celebrating diversity all week this week. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. And our guest, Crystal. Would you take a moment and introduce yourself and share something that you're looking forward to this month?
Hi, my name is Crystal, and I'm coming to you today from Atlanta, Georgia. And I am looking forward to next week celebrating my 9-year anniversary. Back to you, Tricia.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Happy anniversary, and I hope that you enjoy our meeting. Is now my, I guess I sort of said I was celebrating my birthday, which actually was Sunday, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I live near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And something I'm looking forward to this month actually starts this Friday, is a 3-day gaming weekend where I will be playing board games all weekend. That's what I'm looking forward to this month. And at this time, I'll be turning the meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, who is, again, our good friend, William Thomas. Please help me welcome William.
Thank you, Madam President. And I should say birthday lady. Happy birthday to you. Now, let me stop that. Anyway, let's get back to the meeting. As your Toastmaster, my job is to make sure the meeting runs well and we stay on time. And I don't do this alone. I have helpers. And one of my helpers is Ming, who is our body language monitor. Ming, can you come forth, please? Ming, unmute yourself.
Thanks, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Today I'm going to be the body language monitor. As you speak, your body also speak. Therefore, we want to Usually in the club, we use dance or movement to help convey your message. But online, we probably will only use our eye contact, gestures, and facial expressions. I'll try to observe your usage of your body language during the meeting. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Toastmaster Rolando, who is our grammarian, please come forward.
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster, as a grammarian, I will be presenting the word of the day, which I'm looking up right now. Diverse or diversity. So diversity is meaning the quality of conditions of being diverse, or include people from different ethnicities or social backgrounds. For example, a diversity of opinions. Also, my role will be, I'll be watching for proper English and colorful and expressive language, and keep track of the use of the English language. I will then provide a report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Can I have our chat monitor come forth, please? Oh, that's right. We don't have a chat monitor. I guess I'll do that unless somebody else wants to do it. Any other volunteers? Sunny? Anyone else? No?
Okay,
Yes.
I'll do the chat room, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, and I will be observing the conversation in the chat, and I will give you, notate any interesting or diversity of opinions. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Chat Monitor. Can I please have our timer come forth, please? Mr. or Madam Timer, please come forth.
All right, last time I checked, it's Mr. Hi, I'm
I
Chris Mitchell.
I said Mr. or Miss. I said both.
Well, Chris could go either way. It could be a boy's name or a girl's name. I am the timer today, and as timer, I will be monitoring the time as people are speaking. We have prepared speeches, which are normally 5 to 7 minutes. Tricia's is 7 to 9. At 5 minutes, or in Tricia's case 7, I will hold up the green card. At 6 minutes, or in Tricia's case 8, I'll hold up the yellow card. At 7 minutes, or in Tricia's case 9, I'll hold up the red card, which means your time is up. During table talk topics, I will be doing the same. Table topics are 1 to 2 minutes in length. At 1 minute, you will see the green card. 1.5, you will see the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red card. Evaluators are also timed. An evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. For evaluators, at the 2-minute mark, you will see the green card. At the 2.5-minute mark, you will see the yellow card. At the 3-minute mark, you'll see the red card. Anyone who goes more than 30 seconds past the red card gets the lovely honor of paying my cell phone bill for the month. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Ooh, I loved how you said that, Chris. Get to pay your cell phone bill. Okay, so now we're going to move into our speeches.
Inspiration, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I please have our inspiration person step forward?
All right, so that would be me. And what I have for us today is you can maybe make it diversity, but it might not. But it's really kind of short. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough, with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And for me, that is a big thing, especially with what's going on at work and all the changes and everything that's going on. My big thing is I do not want to be comfortable in my dreams. I want to be sure that I'm uncomfortable, that I'm moving on and doing things that are uncomfortable. So that way I can become a better person in the long run. So remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
I have to remember that saying for my area contest. I have to remember that one. Now, coming to the speeches. Our first speaker, introduction. Tricia will be sharing a tale about why you might see some animals without tails. She's speaking from the storytelling book, project number 1, telling a folk tale. Objectives: to tell a folk tale that is entertaining and enjoyable for a specific age group. Use vivid and imaginary words and vocal and voice to enhance the tale. Title of her speech. I lost that. Kill myself. Tricia, remind me the title of your speech.
I believe it's corn greed.
Yeah, corn greed. Madam, Mr. Mr. Timer, her speech is 6, well, you said 7 to 9 minutes, that's correct. So without further ado, I'll give you our awesome birthday girl and our president, Tricia Grove. Tricia, take it away.
Have you ever seen a squirrel without a tail? Occasionally you might see one. And today I'm going to tell you a tale of why the squirrel might not have a tail. You see, this story tells us a story about Chip, the squirrel. Chip had to attend the meeting, the last meeting, the last day of summer, where all the squirrels, all the diversity of squirrels from their whole clan met at the bottom of the old tree. And Grandma Squirrel slowly climbed up the stump of the old tree and addressed the diversity of squirrels. She warned them, beware, beware the corn greed. You've been attending your studies. You know your drills of how to collect the corn kernels. You only put enough kernels in your pouches so you just have just enough room to breathe. If you fill it more than that, you'll get affected by corn greed. You will stuff it to you will almost pop and not be able to breathe. And if Mr. Fox or Mr. Hawk come after you, you'll have no oxygen to run away. Well, Chip was disgusted. How many times have we heard this before? Over and over, every harvest. Corn greed this, corn greed that. Don't fool people. Everybody knows this. Please, let's just go get the kernels and fill our stocks for winter. So he began his day's task to fill his pouches full and bring back the kernels of corn to fill their stores for winter. He did fine for the first 2 or 3 runs, went out, filled his pouches, came back, filled the storage. However, on the 5th trip, it hadn't even reached the sun, hadn't even reached midday. It's like, oh, this is just taking so long. I will never see the end of this the way this is going. I think the next run, I'll just add a few more kernels to my pouch. I'll be fine. Yeah. As soon as he started putting kernels in his pouches, he was struck with corn greed. And he just put them in and put them in and put them in and couldn't fit one more kernel in his pouch. And he thought to himself, this will be so many less trips that I have to make back to the storage. So off he went to go back to take his huge haul back to the storage. Unfortunately, there was a little red tail right below him, belonging to none other than Mr. Fox. And he thought to himself, oh, what am I going to do? I have to jump. I'll have to jump from corn to corn to corn and make my way back to the tree without Mr. Fox catching me. But unfortunately, since he had shut his pouches so full, he had no breath to take those leaps. And the first leap he made, he only made it halfway up the stalk, not to the top. And Mr. Fox grabbed onto his tail. Mr. Fox thought he was going to go home and fill his larder for winter with Mr. Chip. Mr. Chip's like, okay, well, this is the end. I might as well go down fighting. So he turned his head and he spat all the corn that he had in his cheeks into Mr. Fox's eyes. Well, instead of letting go, which is what Mr. Chip thought would happen, Mr. Fox bit down really hard on Mr. Chip's tail, severing it. But Mr. Chip was able to run away for another day. But he never, ever succumbed to corn greed again. And he would tell all his other squirrel friends and family to also watch out for corn greed so they didn't end up without a tail, just like him. Now, also in the forest, there happened to be Mr. Black Bear. Now, I don't know if you know this, but once upon a time, all black bears had a long, luxurious tail they could wrap around their necks and help keep warm. Do you wonder why you never see a bear with a long tail? Well, I'm going to share the story with you tonight. You see, what happened is Black Bear had woke up just a little bit early that spring. He was really hungry. There's no food to be found. It was still frozen winter. So he scrounged around looking for berries or just anything. He was so very hungry, just so he could crawl back into his cave and finish off hibernating. He's searching near, far, up, down, just could not find anything at all. For out of the corner of his eye, he saw Mr. Fox. And Mr. Fox had a long string of fish that he was trailing behind him. And Mr. Bear's like, I'll go ask Mr. Fox for some fish. He ran up to Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox thought very quickly. He's like, ha ha ha, I'm not giving this bear any of my fish. I'm going to play a trick on him. By the time Bear had walked up to Mr. Fox greeted him. Hello, Mr. Bear. Are you going to go fishing this fine day, just like I have myself? And Mr. Bear's like, well, the river's not running. I can't catch fish. He's like, Mr. Fox, I'll show you how I catch fish in the wintertime. So he took him to the river, and he had Mr. Bear dig a hole in the ice. Didn't have to be very big, just round enough to stick your tail down. And he told Mr. Bear, you stick your tail down and you wait. Don't pull out when you feel a tug. Wait till there's almost a huge weight, and you'll know you have many fishes on your tail. Your tail is so long, you could probably catch like 9 or 10 fishes. So Mr. Bear sat, put his tail in the hole, and waited, and waited, and waited. He didn't really feel any bites, but his tail was very, very cold. But finally, he decided, well, there just must be at least a few fishes on there by now. So he decided to tug to bring up the fishes, but he couldn't actually pull them up. His tail had frozen into the ground. The little hole that he had dug froze. So he pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled, and nothing happened. So finally, all his might, he scrunched down and jumped up, tore his tail completely off. And this is why, to this very day, you'll never see a bear with a tail. I hope you all have enjoyed my 2 tales of why some squirrels and bears have no tails. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam President. We are a very diversified group here of people, of Toastmasters. To our next speaker.
1 minute, please. 1 minute on the clock.
1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute.
Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, can you explain the 1 minute, please? Thanks.
Oh, yes. We have a 1 minute for those who want to send encouragement or some feedback to the speaker of what they did well or what they might want to improve on, what can make their speech more dynamic for the next speech they do. So, Mr. Timer, please let me know when the 1 minute is up.
Mr. Toastmaster, the 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Our second speaker, confrontation when 2 or more people meet. This is bound to happen. To be conflicts, today Kanan is going to talk about the conflict resolution strategies. His speech title is Conflict Resolution. Mr. Timer, our second speaker's time is 6 to 8 minutes. Can you give me a timing for a 6 to 8 minute speech?
Yes, at 6 minutes, I'll show the green card, 7 minutes yellow, 8 minutes red, 8.5 minutes, Kanan gets my cell phone bill.
Okay. Objectives of this speech is to help to build conflict resolutions and strategies. Again, I give you the title of the speech, Conflict Resolutions. Distinguished Toastmaster, Kanan Singha. Kanan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. What is a conflict? A conflict is a clash of interest. Conflict is a part of any environment, whether it is home, work, or at social meetings. It cannot be helped. When A group of people with diverse personalities work together, there is bound to be diversity of issues. The existing of conflict is not an issue, but if you do not have an effective resolution process, then it might become an issue. It can easily blow up and bring everything to a standstill. I think most of our women Toastmasters may agree that there is a high possibility of conflicts when their in-laws visit the house. Even though they are visiting for a few days, there is a potential chance of conflicts. When the family members sit together and decide to visit to a family destination, there is going to be conflicts, as every family member has different opinion. Conflict resolution is a way when two or more parties try to find a peaceful solution so that the disagreement among them can be resolved. The disagreement may be personal or emotional. I'm going to share the presentation now. I hope you can see that. 1 minute. Conflict resolution process. 1 minute, I'll make it bigger. When two people are having conflict, they explore the issues. They try to start the conversation. They may find a common ground, or they may agree to give and take, and they find viable options and make sure they listen to each other. This is a typical conflict resolution process. Now, I'm going to tell different strategies. Think of a scenario when 3 or more people are trying to have their own opinion. Everybody is talking about their opinion, which is correct. Or you can think of 4 people thinking that their sports team is great. They don't want to think what is happening. First of all, to have an effective conflict resolution strategy, everybody needs to practice or do active listening. They need to listen to others. I know I was part of a project. When the conflict resolution is in progress, we need to, whoever is the participants, need to control the anger. And some people may leave the meeting. You cannot leave, you cannot ask them to leave. You need to make sure that they are participating in the meeting until the problem is resolved. We need to be clear about what we want, where there could be a leverage, where they need to stop. In case if somebody makes a mistake, they learn to apologize. They should not be shy in apologizing. Yes, I made a mistake. Let us change. So in the same way, other members need to learn to forgive. They must take turns to talk. If everybody is talking at the same time, we will not be able to hear anything, or we will not be able to address anything. We need to stay calm. We need to be assertive at the same time. We need to explain what needs to be done, what is your point, what is the advantage, pros and cons of your point. At the same time, once your turn is over, listen to others, why they are having that opinion, why they are talking about that. And try to find an amicable solution so that everybody is a winner. This is a tough process. It may be looking very simple on the piece of paper, but this is not going to be easy while practicing. Different schools are having different thoughts. Some schools says that you just take calm, go to a neutral environment and see, talk together, try to resolve the problem by thinking, by documenting all the solutions available, and then end on a good note. During the conflict resolution, there are some people with the aggressive personalities, maybe like me. There are some people who are very timid, who speak very slowly or very, what you can call, in a passive voice. We need to accommodate each other. Now, I'm going to talk about a real life experience, how I have solved this in my project. As you all are aware, I run a program, I manage a large scale program. That program or that project, mega million project, had a production support component. The offshore portion needs to work between 7 and 7, and the on-site, the USA, need to take over the support from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. in the night. In my project, the people normally came late to Baltimore. They normally came around 9 o'clock. They say traffic issue, I cannot do it every day. The offshore people could not go home. So they were not willing to take that additional 2 hours, which were very important, because 7 to 9, many people will try to call the customer support. What is happening? There could be production support issues. So I asked them to take a turn and add 2 hours each. Trust me, nobody agreed. After having detailed conversation, I came up with an idea. I split the normal general shift from 9 to 5 to make it 7 to 3, 12 to 8, and 3 to 10, or whatever, like 3 to 9, like that. We made 3 segments. Everybody liked the idea, but everybody want to have the 7 to 3 shift. The people who are traveling, they say, oh, I can come and come in the morning, and then I can leave at 3 p.m. so that I can spend more time because I can avoid the travel issues. The people who are saying, oh, we want to be with the family, so we need to do that. There was no amicable solution. So what I have to do is I have to make a decision to rotate the shift. So some people come 7 to 3, 3 to 10, and 12 to 8. Even though that is not an amicable solution, that was the only solution that was available for all the people. So I'm just giving an example where the conflict resolution can work. Let us all try to resolve the issues properly by giving everybody a chance to talk. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kanan. Thank you. Mr. Timer, did both our speakers qualify?
No.
So only one of our speakers qualified. Let me guess. The person that qualified was Tricia.
Yes.
So that means Kanan was overtime. Okay.
And my cell phone bill will be in his email.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timer.
Would you like 1 minute?
Yes, 1 minute, please.
Mr. Toastmaster, 1 minute is up.
Thank you. Now is the next part of the meeting, which is table topics. Maybe something you do or you do not like. Something you do or do not like. Help me welcome our Vice President of Public Relations and hopefully our next president, Isabella. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, or Mr. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. I'm too afraid. I don't think I will become a president, but I'm happy to stay with the VPPR role.
I think you'll be an awesome president.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, we want to challenge ourselves to develop the impromptu speaking skills by answering unrehearsed questions. We also want to give every member the opportunity to speak at each meeting. We do this with table topics. This segment is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. I have a bunch of topics. I will randomly pick one and announce the topic, and then I will call someone to respond. In this way, everybody listens to the topic and everyone starts thinking of a response right away. The time for the table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. Remember that you don't need to tell the truth, and if you have a problem with a particular topic, you can pivot. Now I will have the first question. Which hobby would you get into if time and money were not an issue? I would like to call our Vice President of Education, Aaron. Is Aaron available?
Okay, can you hear me?
Let me repeat the question. What hobby would you get into if you have unlimited time and money?
Okay, I would just do it in full audio because I'm in the train. So what hobbies do I actually want to get if I have the money? I mean, like, I have all the options in the world. The first thing that actually comes to my mind would be skydiving. This is something that I would definitely love to try for because the cost was always the problem for me. But skydiving is an adventure. It's to fly like a bird, glide like the plane, and also seeing the sights as many times as you want. Of course, there are risks. The risk of dying in the whole situation. But what's there in life when there's no adventure? What's there in life when there is nothing to go for? So skydiving would be my top primary choice because of every single matter. Skydiving is just like taking a dip in the sea. It's just that you have a different viewpoint. Imagine that you're always walking on the roads, seeing everything from a plane view, but you can't see it from 360 degrees angle. You just lost the sight of what's most important in front of you, what's most important to you in particular. But when we start to learn how to look at things from different angles, we see the world differently. That's why skydiving would be my primary choice. Without the cost of money, the cost of worries, and the cost of time. As long as you fly, you're able to fly high and aim high. That's all for my speech. Pass back to you. Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for sharing your hobby. Next question is, what job would you be terrible at? What job would you be terrible at? With this question, may I ask Sunny? Sunny, what job would you be terrible at?
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. What job would I be terrible at? The first thing that comes to my mind is singing. One reason I would be terrible at it is because, unfortunately, I cannot carry a tune unless I'm in the shower. And I don't think I can ever really get an audience, except maybe my husband. The second reason I don't think I'd be great at singing is because one of my teachers told me so. Kind of mean, isn't it? But maybe she was right. And the third reason I think I would be terrible at singing is because usually when I sing, people look at me in church. So now I lip sync, and I think I sound real good. So the job that I think I'd be terrible at is singing. Is that music to your ears? Not sure. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you for sharing your weakness. I think that would be something I'm terrible at it too. And for a moment, I was worried that you does everything so well, and they just couldn't find anything.
Wait, I was about to say I can't do polling because that's what I'm doing right now, trying to get the poll together, but I'll make it happen. Thank you.
But now, our next question is, what job do you think you'd be really good at? What job do you think you will be really good at it? With this question, I would like to call Rolando. Rolando, are you available to answer the table topic question?
Yes, sure, Madam Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster, and most welcome guests. What job will I be good at? Well, thanks to Toastmaster. I joined Toastmaster because one of the reasons is I always avoided people and avoided speaking. And that hurt my career as far as making progress in my career. So I always been good at doing jobs that I don't have to deal with people, like let's say working with computers or working with anything that I don't have to interact too much with people. Like I think I'd be really bad at being a waiter. But now that after I joined Toastmaster, I'm becoming more involved in talking to people and talking and expressing myself. I will say that I will try anything nowadays. Whatever you throw at me, I'll try to get it done. Even though I think I'm better or good at dealing with computers or anything that I can control myself. So that's why one of the reasons I became an engineer, because I know that I can control whatever I'm doing, then I feel more in control, I can get it done. So back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Rolando. I think you're good at so many things. Yeah, very humble. Next question. Are you usually early or late? What's your habit? Are you tend to get somewhere, be there early or late? With this question, I would like to call Dora. Dora, would you like to take the challenge? Dora?
Yes. So the question is, do I tend to be late or early?
Yes.
I have to be honest that I tend to be late. I have get into the habit of could anyone help me with the word procrastination? That means always always delay things until the deadline. For example, I have planned to be a speaker for this meeting. Actually, I have planned it before our national holiday, which are more than 10 days holiday. I have thought that I should have enough time to prepare for this speech. but during the holiday, I have planned other things instead of preparing the speech. I went out with friends. I went to the gym. I watched movies and TV series, but just didn't get myself into preparing the speech. And until last night, I think this is the deadline, and I have to prepare for my speech. But last night, I need to do another job first. I need to finish the poster for our 20th anniversary, and I was busy working that. So finally, I have to decide that I need to withdraw the role of speaker for this meeting. I think this is a very bad habit, and I should change it. And yeah, I plan things early, and I also need to prioritize to set up a specific time to make the plan happen. Back to you, Tabletop Master Isabel.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you for sharing your to tell us your true story. And I think procrastination is a common issue. I read a TED show. Recently I watched a TED show explains why most people tend to procrastinate. This is our last question. Thank everyone for participation. And now I'm return the control of the meeting back to Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmaster and future Toastmaster. Now it's time for evaluations. It's how we improve our speeches. And we have an awesome person being our general evaluator today, Mike Zane. Toastmaster Zane, can you please come forth? The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, General Evaluator, this is a big role because this is what I love about Toastmasters, other than some other speaking opportunities, is that in Toastmasters, whenever anybody gives a speech, they will get evaluated immediately so that everybody will know what they are doing well and what they can improve on for next time. And I don't think there's anywhere else on this planet offer us speakers of these precious opportunities. I will not be doing this job alone, and I have a team of evaluators help me get everybody on the learning curve. So first, I would like to invite our first evaluator, Hariom, to evaluate Tricia's speech. Hariom, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mike. So my dear Toastmaster guest, and especially Tricia, first and foremost thing, happy birthday. Belated happy birthday. And about your speech, I'm not sure which age group it was meant for, but I enjoyed the speech, and I was seeing the smile on the face of all the Toastmasters on the camera, because everybody was kind of enjoying the speech. When you were on your high points and low points, everybody was kind of, I could see the expression on everybody's face. So it also reminded me of my grandmother, who used to tell me the stories. I'm not saying that you're that old, but yeah, it reminded me of my grandmother and the way she used to tell the stories and come to the moral of the story. So it was very well told. Coming to the content, you were speaking about how did squirrel and bear, they lost their tail. And it was very well divided into two different sections, two different stories. In the first story, you mentioned that, okay, it was because of the greed that squirrel lost the tail. In the second story, you mentioned about the fact that the tail got frozen in some ice, and that is how the tail was lost. It was very well told, and the conclusion was good as well. The good thing about the entire speech that I liked was, I mean, it was supposed to be entertaining and enjoyable, and that was the case. Your hand gesture were really good. It was flowing with the words that you were speaking. the vocal variety where you said, ah, where you said words like grabbed in his tail. These were like really good vocal variety. And in these kind of speeches, I would say vocal variety is the key, and that is what you showed. Other than that, the choice of words that you had, long string of fish, these kind of things or these kind of words made us visualize what is happening in the story. And that visualization part was really strong. So that was like good aspect. Coming to the things that you can, that I would like to challenge you. One was that you were facing sideways throughout the entire speech. So that is something, if you could face like in front of the camera, it would be more enjoyable and people would feel a more kind of emotion. And the second part is that in the first part of the story, you mentioned the moral of the story, that it was because of the greed, the tail was lost. But in the end, I felt that there was this moral of the story that was missing. Even in the end, that you could have mentioned some moral of the story and you could have connected it to the first story. That was the only thing that I felt missing. But overall, I feel that it's a very diverse speech, a different, diverse topic. I was kind of finding it difficult to evaluate it, but overall, it was amazing, and looking forward to more speeches from you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Hariom, for your comprehensive evaluation. Up next is our second evaluator, Michael Thorne, to evaluate Cannon's speech. Michael.
Thank you, Mike. Kanan, I totally enjoyed your speech for one very strong reason, and that is an appropriate topic no matter where we are in our lives. But what I really enjoyed was your obvious level of preparation. Your delivery, your content, everything about it I enjoyed. But tonight I'm going to focus on the delivery as opposed to the content. You had great clarity, great vocal variety, superb gestures, and because of that, I immediately felt that you're involved, you're dynamic, you're intense on the subject. And that immediately brought everybody else back in. Personally, I think I would suggest you work on your pacing a little bit. Occasionally you would move ahead a little bit too fast. And occasionally, if you could pause for a moment to let us catch up, think about what you're saying, and then go on to the next subject. But then you hit my pet peeve. Sorry about that. That's just everything I'm all about. And that's PowerPoint. On your first slide, you had conflict resolution. And you had a paralleled vertical presentation, and it was just too much for us to look at one time. And if we did look at it, then we lose track of what you were saying. We were reading instead of paying attention to you. On the second one, instead of having all those words, you had, I think, RESOLVE, I would have individual pictures to describe each of those items. And then maybe I'd focus on the ones that are most important to you at least. That is as I mentioned, a pet peeve of mine, and I see it happens to so many speakers. They put up so much information on the chart that we end up reading it as opposed to listening to the speakers. And of course, you tended to run out of time. I know DTM stands for Don't Time Me, but it also, by the way, it stands for Don't Touch Me, which is advantageous in this venue. But because of you running out of time, I thought your conclusion could have been just a little bit stronger. It just seemed like you ran out of time. There it is. But otherwise, Kanan, I think you're obviously a DTM. You set the standard, and I thank you for it. General Evaluator.
Thanks, Michael, for your evaluation. Now, coming next is our all-counter Dora. So Dora, how many ums and uhs have we done? Please come forward.
Thank you, Mike. Actually, everybody is doing a very good job during today's meeting. I just recall one or two unnecessary pause during your speech. You during Kanan and my speech, there are two pauses because you were thinking about what you wanted to say. And I must say that Tricia has a very good pauses during her speech. And I recall no hours during Tricia's speech because she speaks in a very slow and comfortable pace, but not in a hurry. And I also recall no hours in Aaron, Sunny, Rolando, Mike, Hariom's speech. If someone have recorded the hours for me, and I think I should be the art queen today. I nominate myself for the art queen today. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Dora. Thanks for counting these ums and ahs. Well, by the way, it's a great way to improve your math skills. Elementary math, by the way. Up next is our grammarian, Rolando. Rolando, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. The word of the day, diversity, was used many times by our Toastmasters. Kim Mitchell, Tricia, William, Kanan, Hariom, Mike. And Tricia, as far as the speakers, Tricia gave us two wonderful tales, Why Some Squirrels and Bears Have No Tails. Kanan, pros and cons of conflict resolution, amicable solution. We need to accommodate everyone. And for our table topics, everybody did well. I congratulate Dora especially, even though she struggled with procrastination, but she finally got it. Procrastination. That's a wonderful word. And Arion and Mike, very good. Superb gesture, pet peeve. So everybody did well. Congratulations to us, all of us, ourselves. Back to you, Mr. Junior Evaluator.
Thanks, Rolando, for your grammarian report. Next, according to the agenda, is our body language monitor report from May. May, are you ready? May, you need to unmute yourself. Here we go.
Hello, Toastmasters, esteemed guests. I observed the body language from every participant by just use a gallery view, so I can see a diverse presence of everyone on the screen. Most of us, of course, on the screen, we just show upper body and our head. Some people have their head like chopped up at the top. That's because when we during the whole meeting, we probably move back and forth a little bit, or our computer screen is somehow adjusted. So that happened to like Sunny a little bit, happened to Isabel a little bit, and a couple of us on the side of the screen. But actually, I think the side of the screen is mostly fine, because I mean, it's okay as long as you show chin up or don't cut your head up. And what I observed Tricia, when she talks, she has a lot of gestures, and also Tricia use a lot of, Tricia even use her movement of her body, even with very limited view. As Tricia said, the black bear tucked himself up from the ice. Tricia really moved up. That's very good body language to tell the story. Thanks. And yeah, maybe one thing I observed we could improve a little bit is Tricia and Mike, the evaluator, Mike Zhong, could add more eye contact with looking into the camera a little bit more when you talk to the audience. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thanks, May, for your thorough observation and report. Next, I believe, is our chat monitor report from Sunny.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. As chat monitor, I observed that one good thing is that this is a good thing. All the diversity of opinions, the feedback is really helpful to our Toastmasters, especially if we need to go back and look at some of the comments that they have made, especially when you are a prepared speaker. I also just loved the inspiration for today, so I put that in the chat. Again, thanks, Kim. Thanks, Kim, because I love that if your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. I was told that earlier, about 4 years ago when I first heard that, and it inspired me. So I put it in the chat just as a reminder to the others. So again, for the most part, there wasn't anything that stood out to me except for the fact that the feedback is really helpful. And I enjoyed it. Kanan mentioned about having a moral at the end of the story, and I thought about that. So I just think we all learn from each other. So that is my report, and I know I just said so probably 3 times. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thanks, Sunny, for your chat monitor report. Now, let's see how we're doing with the time. Chris, the floor is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Let me try something here real quick. There we go. Bang. I actually did a PowerPoint today. I'm pretty impressed. To give you the report for our timer, I'm just going to do it this way because I think it will work better. On our speeches, Tricia did 9 minutes and 27 seconds, and Kanan did 8 minutes and 48 seconds. My PayPal address, you have it. For table topics, Aaron was 158, Sunny 105, Rolando 128, and Dora 228. And for our evaluators of our speeches, Hariom came in at 254 and Mike was at 245. Thank you for everyone who stayed within the time limits, or those who try to, and you will get better. I have confidence in you. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thanks, Chris. I think on the agenda, it's my time to give the General Evaluator report. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great meeting. Williams, Toastmaster of the Day. I love your energy. Always, always love your energy when you open up the meeting. And you had great energy carried out throughout the whole meeting. When you're listening to other speakers, you were nodding, you were smiling, and you're definitely engaged. And that actually feed our speakers. Well done. One thing I will encourage you to do is next time when you're Toastmaster of the Day, please follow the agenda at the beginning, because when you call out the roles today, the order was a bit reversed, and as a new member, I was a bit confused at the beginning. Isabel, for the table topics, what is that? Table topics master. You had a good introduction of the table topics sessions, and you even had quick tips of how to handle an unrehearsed question for everybody. Great job done. I would encourage you next time, if you remember, to invite our guests for table topics. I've been a guest for three times, and because as a guest, the only time to participate is table topics. So I don't know how our guest Crystal is feeling right now, but I hope she enjoys the meeting. I guess it will be a great way to invite our guests to do a table topics to ensure that they want to come back next time. In terms of our evaluators, Hariom, you had a great humor in your evaluation. Usually when we're talking about evaluation, we don't have a humor in there, and you had a great humor there when you mentioned that the Tricia speech reminds you of grandma, and your speech was evaluation was very positive. You give great comments on the content, word choice, and vocal variety, and 2 areas for improvement. So this is what I will encourage you to do next time as a speech evaluator. The evaluation itself is a speech. So I encourage you to have a well-organized, structured evaluation. For example, in the beginning, you can say, today I would like to talk about the 3 good aspects of Tricia's speech. I would like to talk about the content, word choice, and vocal variety. If you give us this hint at the beginning, everybody will know what to expect in your evaluation. The second evaluator, Michael Thorne, for Canon speech. You had a great suggestions, and you also had a humor there. DTM, don't time me. I didn't know DTM meant that. And one thing I would encourage you to do next time as evaluator is to me, your evaluation today sound a bit negative. You talked about the good, positive aspect, which is the energy, but also you talk about the 3 aspects that a Canon can improve: pacing, slides, and conclusion. So as somebody who's hearing the evaluation, I feel that the energy was a little bit down. So I would encourage you to find a more positive aspects for our speaker. But I don't know, but Canon has been a DTM for 6 times, so maybe he doesn't need that much of the positive things. I don't know, but this is just my thought. And May, you had a great observation, and you had good comments and improvements on the body language. And Chris, very innovative. You had slides with all the timing, which give us the visual of those timing things for us to understand you better. I also like to comment on Sunny. And Sunny, I noticed that you jumped in and reminded William that he missed inspiration at the beginning, and he also missed the 1 minute for comments after the prepared speakers. And this is what I especially love about Toastmasters, because everybody here is a human being and everybody makes mistakes. But in Toastmasters, we don't pick out on people who make mistakes. We help them become better when they do things next time. It's okay to miss a few things when you're a Toastmaster or you're serving other roles. It's okay, as long as we learn from that experience. So in the end, I would like to go back to our inspiration of today by Kim. If your dreams are do not scare you, they are not big enough. And I would like to say, if your dreams are big enough and they do scare you, you will find people in Toastmasters who will help you succeed. And this is a great meeting, and I hope after the evaluation and today's meeting, you are 1 step closer to your big dreams. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for that inspiring thought. Now it comes to the end of the meeting, and before we go, I want to turn control of the meeting back to our birthday girl, our president. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. The floor is yours, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Sonny, would you please list the poll? Thank you very much.
Yeah, don't vote for me, please.
And while we're filling that out, I would like to ask our guest, Crystal, if you would please share with us what you enjoyed about tonight's meeting.
I enjoy just getting to see how it works online because it's something that I'm looking for. So thank you guys for letting me be a guest.
Yes, you're certainly welcome to come visit us as many times as you'd like. We
Thank
enjoy
you.
having you here. Oh, Aaron, my birthday was actually Sunday, Aaron, but William keeps singing happy birthday to me today. But that's okay. He, you know, maybe somewhere in the world it's still October 6th. Are we on the poll? Are we close? I can't hear you.
I'm not sure if people are voting, if it's actually operating. Is anyone able to vote?
I voted.
Yeah, I voted.
Okay,
I voted.
okay, right now. Okay, so great. It's just saying 0 of 14 right now. So if everyone has voted, I'm going to end the poll. It's like as if it's not working correctly. Let me see what happens when I end the poll. Let me see.
Okay.
Share results. It's looking like it's 0%. Is it looking like that
Oh
to
no,
you?
I can see the results.
No, we see
Okay,
numbers.
Madam President, would you go ahead, because I believe there was a snafu in logging in. It gave me an error message as if someone else logged in, and it said I was not going to have the information. Would you please read today?
Yes, I can certainly take care of that. Thank you very much. I know from experience it's very difficult to do the poll and everything else.
This looks like another day. Are you sure this is the right one? Maybe this is last week's poll.
Well, I didn't speak last week though.
Okay. Let me.
This week.
Is this last week's poll, everybody?
Oh, it's this week.
This week. Okay, for some reason, I'm seeing last week's poll. So you all must be seeing the right thing. I am seeing life doesn't define me, an update on my journey, cancer awareness. Good. I will be quiet and go ahead, Madam President.
All right, thank you very much. I do appreciate all the work that goes into making these polls. Like I was saying, it is a lot of work. For tonight, our meeting, we had half and half. 56% said it was awesome, and 44% said it was wow. So all in all, I think everyone enjoyed our meeting, so that's awesome. And for best speaker, because Kanan always removes himself from the running, that leaves me. I am the best speaker. Thank you very much. It's your birthday present to me. I appreciate it. For our best table topic speaker, it was really close, but Rolando pulled ahead. Rolando, would you like to take a moment and celebrate your win?
Sure, Madam President. I'm honored to be receiving this very wonderful award. And thanks to you guys. I mean, I think the table topics was great questions. Everybody participated. Everybody did well. I guess I'm just lucky just to come out a little bit on top, but I think we all did well. And I'm looking forward to the next meeting next week. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Rolando. And our best evaluator, also very close, but Hariom pulled ahead. Hariom, would you please take a moment and share your thoughts on being your best evaluator?
Thank you, everybody, for voting for me. I would say the credit goes to the storyteller. She made my work pretty easy. And the other evaluator, Mike, was pretty good as well. So, and it's like almost close. It's almost same. So I'd like to congratulate him as well. Back to you, Tricia.
Thank you very much. We had a clear, defined winner for our facilitator, though, and that was our General Evaluator, Mike Zhong. Our newest member, Mike, would you please take a moment and share your thoughts on being our favorite facilitator this evening?
Well, thanks everybody for your encouragement. I just feel honored to be that way. And oh, by the way, I hope I can get a account to the agenda on the website soon so that I can sign up for next week's meeting roles. So I don't want to just come in and do a last minute roles like this anymore. So please help me do that.
Yeah, I'll try and make sure that you're added to WordPress. And I'll send an email. You can let me know if it doesn't work. At this time, we'll go ahead and stop the recording.